The day I found my fiance dead in her tub after having a seizure. It has been a little over a year now and I'm definitely doing better, but I don't think I'll ever have the happiness that I used to have.
My brother died suddenly from a seizure. It still cuts deep. Her love for you will still be there. It will help you through the dark times too. When you're ready to open your heart again, she will be happy for you. Remember, she wouldn't want you to be sad or alone. Big hugs, X.
I pawned my wedding ring to get money to feed my pill addiction. It opened my eyes though, and I ended up cleaning up after a few more months and getting my ring back. My wife worked her ass off to buy me that ring, and I was such an addicted piece of shit that I pawned it for a fix. Glad that moment finally woke me up though. 11 years clean now.
Glad you're clean now. 11 years is a good long stretch. May it last till the end of your days, which I hope is a long ways away.
Psych ward. I remember waking up and thinking, I never thought I'd see this day.
Yep, I feel that. Hope you're doing okay now.
Spent over $1,000 in a weekend on a combination of alcohol, phone sex lines, and a few prostitutes. The only free call I made that weekend was to the suicide hotline.
Hope you're doing better now. But damn, I gotta say that second sentence is the most noir detective shit I ever read in my life.
When I think to myself, do I have enough alcohol to get myself through the weekend? And buy a bottle of vodka just in case. Then spending the weekend feeling like shit and hating myself, wondering why I'm not happy. Negative feedback loops exist and are a bitch. If you remove yourself from it for 2 weeks, I promise you'll get better. Edit. It's a positive feedback loop, even though the experience is negative. It builds on itself.
I made many random trips to the hardware store because it was right across the street from a grocery store, so I could pick up a handle of whatever vodka was close to $20. You know, the not good enough to be in a glass bottle but wasn't the absolutely cheapest shit. For me, it was after losing the third job in a row due to shitty performance caused by my alcohol addiction that I was having sex with my wife when whiskey dick kicked in, so couldn't finish. We had yet another discussion about my situation. I decided enough was enough, and if I didn't quit then I probably never would. Thankfully that was almost 3 years ago and I've been sober ever since. Now instead of booze I spend all my money on running shoes and Coke Zero. After my divorce years ago, my buddy thought it was a good idea to give me a keg of Christmas ale. I sat alone at home and filled up an empty milk gallon jug every night with it and drank it until it was gone, but not before using it to wash down multiple Ambien in one sitting. I still look back and wonder how I'm still alive to talk about it.
I'm glad you are still here. You're built tough, that's how. Ambien is weird. I took it once and apparently made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for all 6 of my roommates at the time. Knocked on their door but walked through regardless and just handed it to them. One of them said he was banging his girlfriend when I walked in and straight up put it on the bed next to them even though they were screaming at me to get out.
Sitting in my home, wrecked from a failed overdose attempt, $20K in debt, no job, addicted to painkillers, and wondering if I called my mom, if she would even care, or just tell me it was my problem to fix. She cared. Spent the next 10 years putting me back together. Mom died Tuesday morning. As bad as I feel, and having BPD, that's pretty bad. I'm not going to backslide. I won't make all her love and effort meaningless. I will keep things under control and moving forward. Edit. Thanks for all the kind words.
Sorry about your mom. You'll make it. You're strong. All the best to you. 07.
I was in the throes of an alcohol addiction and went over to my elderly neighbor's house to play some cribbage. I found him laying on his couch and I thought he may have simply died there. My first thought was, naturally, to grab his wallet and run. I didn't. Been sober over 25 years now, too.
So was he really dead?
I woke up in the drunk tank. Police found me blackout drunk with none of my friends in sight. Was far from home and it was 4 a.m. They had no choice but to keep me overnight. Waking up on a concrete bed with the vaguest recollection of what happened, fucking brutal. Caught the train to the beach that morning and cried for the longest time. The worst part was that nobody tried to contact me, and I was out with a huge group of friends. Edit. Thanks for the silver. Also, for clarification, nobody trying to contact me hurt because I had tried to contact them and I got nothing back. I was self-destructive back then and people were sick of my shit. I moved away for a while and focused on bettering myself, understanding how I'd strained relationships with my actions and accepting that some relationships could not be repaired.
Yep. I was an alcoholic. I still can't think of the things I did, feeling the immediate need to vomit. Shudder.
Sitting in the suicide naughty room of the URD trying to figure out how to eat the applesauce they brought me without access to any utensils. Ended up using the lid as a kind of scoop, which was good enough. Definitely an all-time low. Thankfully I'm medicated, in therapy, and doing much better now. And I can eat my applesauce with spoons like a big girl.
They call this the OL fashion style, when eating applesauce.
Today is the 1-year anniversary of my wife's sudden death. We were HS sweethearts and we were married for 35 years. 3 months ago I was diagnosed with dementia. I don't have anything else to lose, so I guess this is rock bottom.
I am so sorry you are going through all of this. That has to be terribly difficult. I hope you are not alone in dealing with this. If nothing else, you have an internet stranger wishing all the best for you.
This time last year, I had left my friends and job in another state and moved to the middle of nowhere to get sober and be with family. I had no car, no home, no friends, and withdrawals from several substances. Probably the lowest I had ever been, and was on the verge of suicide. Glad I stayed strong though, because now my life has completely changed for the better. Edit. Wow, this is easily my most interacted comment ever. Thank you strangers for the encouragement and awards and kind words. I really hope that this helps someone who is going through it right now.
I did a similar thing back in August 2016. Moved home to be with family and get a grip on my alcoholism that was, by that point, I think within a year of killing me. I lost everything. Friends, career, the woman I thought I wanted to marry. 5.5 years later I'm happy, healthy, married, we just bought a house. I think about those dark days a lot though. Stay strong. It gets better. I will be rooting for you.
Wife came out as gay, not bi, and told me her latest girlfriend had made it a condition of their staying together that she would no longer have sex with me. We separated. I began drinking to excess and was well on the way to becoming an alcoholic. By a great stroke of luck I was offered a job in an overseas office of my employer, took it, made a new start, met my future second wife, recently celebrated my 42nd anniversary with her and just became a grandpa.
Congratulations, Grandpa.
When I gambled a big percent of my savings in a few seconds, and yes, I lost.
Wall Street bets probably.
When I rented a room in a house, and it was the 4 feet by 7 feet floor space behind a home basement bar, you could smell the dead rats in the wall.
Oh geez, was the rent low at least? Hope things are better for you now.
It was the first month of real quarantine. My wife said she wanted a divorce. I was on indefinite furlough from my job. Had to move in with my mom, who wound up dying 6 weeks later. My car was repossessed and I was trapped living out in the middle of nowhere. No income. Unable to get a job, and I had no friends because my ex was abusive and had cut me off from everyone I knew, so I had no family or support systems left. That was rock bottom for me.
How are you doing now? Hope things got a little better.
Woke up with a tube down my throat, brace around my neck, cuts and bruises everywhere, unable to move with 2 cops right above me. I had to sit there while they explained to me I was hit by a driver who ran a light. I had to drop out of school for a year, lost my job and was out of treatments for over a year. All because of someone's stupid decision.
Damn. That happened almost exactly to one of my friends. He was stopped at a red light on his motorcycle and woke up 3 days in the hospital. Truck rear-ended him, ran the red light, and didn't even stop.
When I had been on a 3-day party trip and was going back to my apartment on the train. Started to sweat like mad and my stomach did not feel good. Tried to waddle myself home like a penguin, clenching my butt cheeks all the way. About 200 meters from my apartment building it didn't work anymore and I shat my pants. Had to then shit the rest out on the pavement, and get home ASAP. I don't think you could even measure the level of shame, anxiety and stupidity I felt at that time. Edit. I was 36 years old at this point.
The amount of times I, a grown woman, have pissed myself in public, drunk, is insane. Anyway, I'm 2 weeks sober today and never touching the shit again in my life. Here's to you doing better too. You got this, my boy.
When I got in my car and my gut was so big that even with the seat as far back as it could go, it would dig into the steering wheel. I had to suck in my gut before making turns. Heaviest I'd been in my life. 100 pounds down from that weight though. Still going strong.
Proud of you. Losing 100 pounds is not easy.
A few months ago when I was seriously considering burning myself to death because I had better options that would traumatize the least amount of people. I just sat on a bench under a nice tree and really thought hard about my suicide options. Obviously I did not do this, but it's been the one and only time I've tried to seriously make a plan to take my own life.
At least the tree was nice. Glad you're better now though.
Boyfriend's parents sat me down to tell me they think their son deserves better while he watched and said nothing.
Oh, what worried.